Hello there Year 6ers, it's Mr. Conway here. Now for today's how-to guide, we're going to be looking at how to use algebraic rules. And as just a quick reminder from a previous video, we're going to have a look at this function machine. So I have an input, it's multiplied by 2, we then add 6, and I get an output. So here's my function machine, but what is the rule? Well, let's see if we can discover this, okay? My input, what I'm going to use for my input is a letter, and the letter, I'm going to put that down there for a second actually. The letter I'm going to use is A. Remember, in algebra we use our letters, and the letter A could mean any integer, any whole number. Okay, so A is any number. I could put any letter there, B, C, D, E, F. Remember, we said before we might use N for any number, but A is going into my function machine. So if A goes in, the first thing that happens to my A is it's going to be multiplied by 2. 2 lots of A. So I'm just going to write that up here. 2 lots of A. Now, some of you straight away might remember that we have a bit of a funny problem here. Because we have 2 times A, it looks like 2xa. And because we're using algebra with letters, it can be a bit confusing having a multiplication sign in there. So this multiplication sign, we actually just need to remove it, okay? We need to take that multiplication sign out. And if I take it out, you'll notice all I'm left with is 2a. And that's actually the first part of my rule, 2a. Right, so 2 lots of a. Let's go to the next part of my function machine, is to add 6. So I'm going to add 6 to this. And that is it. Here is my rule. The rule for this function machine is 2a plus 6. So that's just a quick recap of a previous video. But for today's lesson, we're going to be doing a twist it, really, the opposite of that. I'm going to have a rule, but I now need to draw the function machine. So the rule I'm going to be working with is 5a plus 8. 5a plus 8. Now then, I'm going to use my 2 pens here. So for my function machine, first of all, as always with a function machine, I will need an input. Okay? I'm going to need an input. And at the end, I'll also have an output. Now then, let's have a look at our rule. 5 lots of A plus 8. What letter, first of all, am I working with? I'm working with the letter A. That will be my input. So A is going in. So if A goes in, what is the, I'm just looking at this first bit here, 5A. What is the operation happening here? 5A. Remember what I just said, 5 lots of A. That's right, my first function is to multiply A by 5. Now this is definitely a 2-step function machine because I've got 2 operations going on here. I've got a multiplication, then I've got a plus sign, so I need to draw another arrow. So I've now calculated my 5a is 5 lots of a. What's the next function? Well, let's have a look. Plus 8. Plus 8. So my input is a multiplied by 5 plus 8, and the output, interestingly enough, is the exact same as your rule. 5a plus 8. So there you are, Year 6s. That's how you convert a rule, or an algebraic rule, into a function machine. The maths you're doing here is very, very simple. It's just more of a concept. And it's this bit here that we make our marvellous mistakes on. It's the multiplication part of it. Remember, we just omit the x. If you see a 5a or a 5b or a 6a or a 6b or a 7,000 and a b afterwards, it's all multiplication, okay? So there you are, Year 6s. Enjoy your algebra. Any questions, any good algebra, please send over to me. Have a good day, everybody.